Over 10,000 spins on Spotify, ranked 1,378th in the rock world famous 1,500 for this year. Yay. Here is Curly's Jules performing their hit song on an acoustic level, Absentee.
We've been lying here for hours, only a foot away, your restless breath disturbs me. No conversation, there's a sadness in this dark room. I feel removed from all I used to have to keep my mind together. Give me some answers to these questions that are plaguing me. These long equations with no answers, are you blaming me? Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me. I am here, but you don't see me. Only a foot away, it may as well be 80 miles. No observation, there's a fierce sweat running down these walls. I am impatient with no answers, nobody's listening to my calls. Give me some answers to these questions that are plaguing me. These long equations with no answers, are you blaming me? Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me. How can a half-person function in a half-life? Somebody please inform me, how the hell am I going to survive? Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me. Give me some answers to these questions that are plaguing me. These long equations with no answers, are you blaming me? Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me. Hey. Give me some answers to these questions that are plaguing me. These long equations with no answers, are you blaming me? Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me. Too blind to see, Mr. Absentee, you're breaking me.
Hey guys, so joining us on the Celebrity Couch today, we have...
I am Joe,
Hey, I'm Aaron.
and we're from
Curly's
Jules.
So 8 years ago, Curly's was formed. How did Curly's come about?
Well, okay, so it started off from me putting a post up on Facebook because I decided I needed to do some form of musical stuff, rock music based stuff. So put it out saying, oh, could we do some covers, someone who can play guitar. Aaron put his hand up and we did some acoustic rock covers for quite some time, but we needed to have a name to put on Facebook because back then it was, 8 years ago, we were learning. So we had to have a name to put on Facebook, and therefore Curly's Jules was just a random thing that came out of the air from nowhere, and I went, oh, let's call it that, and he went, yeah, okay. It was just so we had something. And then eventually we sort of formed into a full band of four with Corey and Andy joining along, thank God. And then the name just stuck. We kept going with it, and it's probably not the best name in the world, but the Foo Fighters probably didn't think theirs was so great either, you know. So it's all right. It works because people get frustrated with the no grammar in it and that sort of thing. So it's good.
So what has been the weirdest moment with a fan?
Oh, man.
None that involved me, right?
Not so far.
The weirdest moment with a fan. We could always talk about what happened at Villainy.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I don't know if she is a fan now, but we saw some interesting stuff at the front of stage with Alas. Whilst Villainy were playing, we were side of stage, and we played with them a few years ago, and watching Alas in the front row getting her on with a random guy, laying back on the stage with poor Neil looking down at the act. So that was kind of a weird moment.
That would be the randomest thing I've seen.
Yeah, definitely the most interesting one so far.
So what's coming up for Curly's?
We've got quite a bit coming up. We've got some shows which we'll be announcing shortly across the country, which will be really fun to get out there and start really pushing Absentee, our current single, across the country, which will be really fun. One show, our next show actually, is a suicide awareness show, which is up in Palmerston North, called Break the Silence. So we're really looking forward to that. And that's going to be part of a wider kind of tour across the country. So looking forward to it.
Hard out.
And I suppose there's more people than just me sitting here waiting for an album. Is it going to happen?
Well,
one day,
when we find a fabulous person who would like to give us all their monies to go and do that, then fantastic. But unfortunately, it hasn't rained money on us yet, and it's expensive, man. And we want to get, when we do get to be able to do an album or an EP or whatever it might be, we want it to be able to be the best that we can produce, you know. Yeah. And so that's why it's going to take us a little bit of time to raise those funds. But in the meantime, between now and that happening, we do have something in the pipeline that we will be releasing for people that they would maybe not have heard a different side of Curly's, just to fill the gap for now until we can get the pingers to go and record something fabulous again.
So, Gel, I know that you've got a weird doll obsession. Do you want to talk about that?
I was going to bring Douglas. So, people find dolls really creepy, and I started collecting pop vinyls, right? Which, of course, starts with 3 or 4 and then turns into 100. And big shelves, you know, like we all understand, we have collections, right? So that was cool. And then I started to really like I never thought I'd get into gardening, but succulents and stuff. And they're the only thing I don't kill. So I thought, I'm not going to chop the heads off any pops because they cost too much, but I started to upcycle dolls and stuff from trash to treasure and sticking plants in them. So that's kind of where that's gone, and now it's turned into this huge ensemble in my shed that I'm in all the time, dismembering dolls, and I'm the creepy woman who goes to op shops and rummages through kids' toys and stuff.
There are like doll arms and heads and legs everywhere.
Yeah, but
That's
it's good. It's amazing how many people into ridiculous oddity though, because people come and buy this stuff from me. It's fabulous. I love it because I meet these people and think, great, there are more of us in the world, you know? Yes. So it's good. It's going well, mate.
So talking about pops.
Yes.
Box or out of box?
Out of box. Oh, yes, I knew that would upset the world. You know what, man? I am all about it, living in the now, and I have one life, and if I want to get bloomin' Slash out of his box and stare at his tattoos, in fact, we took Slash to AC/DC with us.
We took him to Gunners, actually.
Okay, far out, Gunners. It would probably be a bit strange if we're taking him to AC/DC. Yes. What is this guy doing here? Sorry, to Gunners. We took him because you want to see what's around. You need to see Amy Winehouse's tattoos in there. You can't see them if they're in the box.
And Aaron, you've also got a bit of a hobby. It's a bit more sensible than carving up dolls. So why don't you tell us about your plane craftsmanship?
Oh, yeah. So I grew up, I started building model aircraft as a kid, as a lot of people do when they're younger. I'm not sure if they do anymore because it's all about PlayStation and Xbox and that. And I never grew out of it and just kept building models. So I've hundreds of little plastic models everywhere in the house as well, like Gel's pops. So we just have a house full of little knacky kind of things.
It's a weird place. It's a great place, but it's a weird place.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been building them for ages, all my life, and I just love it. It's just something I can do, and takes time away, and it's just real relaxing. As nerdy as all nerdy can be, but hey, you do what you do, and I love it.
And he's extended it out to many people. He's just like, I love to do this. And so many people are like, oh my God, models and stuff. And come out of the woodwork and are just like, I love doing that too, you know? Hey, you've started a few people off building stuff again as adults.
There's a lot of closet model makers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learnt more about planes than I ever thought I'd need to know in my life. Ever.
So what has been the most memorable gig? Besides banding together?
Oh, of course,
banding
it was
together was
awesome.
awesome, man. That was
such a good time.
awesome event, and real good crowd, eh? That was real interactive too, wasn't it?
Very, very. We had such a good time, man. And thank you for all of your work. You're a legend, bro. We do appreciate it. So cool. Well, for me, I'd have to say Living Colour, because it's not every day that you can sit at a sound check watching Will Calhoun playing drums and sit there and watch Vernon Reid playing the start of Cult of Personality and stuff, and you're just sitting there going, oh my God, they're in front of me. So that was a pretty big deal, and strangely enough, we've ended up with sort of a bit of a fan in Vernon Reid who he wears our beanie around, and he messages us from truck stops in Scotland, and he's just a really lovely man and very encouraging of what we've done. So from an amazing gig that we couldn't even believe we were playing to actually extending that past it is just ridiculous. We couldn't believe it. So that's a big deal for me. You know, that was a really big night, and it was an awesome crowd, and we had an amazing time anyway. And we got free tickets to the gig, so booyakasha, always good.
So what would you guys say to an aspiring musician? I mean, I suppose you guys are still aspiring and trying to build the ladder. So I suppose
you never stop.
Yeah. So what do you guys constantly tell yourself that might benefit someone else?
Enjoy it. Just keep enjoying it. I think for me personally on guitar, I love playing guitar, obviously, but it's the performing which is the best part of it, you know, for me. And it's like, hey, if I don't perform, I don't get any enjoyment out of playing guitar. It's a weird sort of little cycle. So I always tell people, hey, just keep at it. Just keep up with your passion. If it's making you happy, just keep doing it.
Yeah. We've had whoa, that's heavy rain. We've had hashtag carve your own path.
The audio's good. You're right. Sorry.
That's okay. We will speak loudly. We've always said hashtag carve your own path. That's a big deal for us as well. And so that's the same for other people. You can't rely on anyone coming to you to say, you know, like it was back in the day. You can't expect someone to a record label to come to your gig and be like, oh my God, you're the next best thing. We're going to promote you and spend all the money on you. It doesn't happen like that these days. It's a completely new circle of how you do things. So as far as us, we've just gone to carve your own path, make our own tracks, do it our own way, and try and build it from the ground up, instead of expecting anything to land on our laps, because that's just not realistic. Yep. And I wrote an article for New Zealand Musician recently, and that was quite a lot about aspiring musicians and stuff, and how to sort of start. And the biggest thing that I would have said is, one, carve your own path, make it your own way, keep going, like Aaron said, just keep striving and enjoying it as much as you can, because otherwise you lose the passion, you're out. And the other thing is just to make sure you're not a dick, because if you're a dick, no one wants to work with you. You know, if you turn up just before you're about to go on stage and don't talk to anyone or don't network, how do you ever expect to get anywhere? So, and that's part of the best enjoyment of doing anything, is meeting all these awesome, amazing, creative people within our circles. So, yeah. It's
been great talking to you guys. Any final words you'd like to say before we conclude the interview?
Hey, man, thanks for having us.
Yes.
We love what you do. It's awesome to have passionate people doing what you do as well, and that's what keeps the music industry spinning. We can't, you know, we need exposure, and this is something which you can provide us, and we're just really stoked with that. So, thank you.
So if you want to find our songs, find any of our information, we are on YouTube, of course. We are on Spotify, of course. We are on Facebook, Instagram. Just look up Curly's Jewels. It doesn't have any grammar. It's just with an F. So Curly's Jewels, check it out. You'll find us. The chick with the colourful hair. It's very easy to spot. Please check us out. We've got a whole array of different music and not just the one song that you might hear. So check us out.
Now, if you want to see me take Season 3 on the road, potentially in Auckland, where I have some awesome contacts, then jump over to our Facebook page. www.facebook.com/entertaininginterviews. And around that page, you will see a link on how you can support this channel to be able to make that happen. Hopefully you enjoyed Entertaining Interview Season 2. We had a whole ball of fun filming it. Once again, huge shout out to Tony McDonald from Plastic Groove for the venue and also for the audio engineering, one of our major sponsors, and our other major sponsor, Tim Simpson from Nitro Film, for sponsoring us with the gear. So, like I said, jump over to our Facebook page, check it out, jump in and help us out, take Season 3 on the road, and hopefully we'll be seeing you guys again very soon.